99X, it's the Morning X, Barnes and Leslie in the True Crime Corner. This is an ugly one. $650 million in deepfake scams. Now, these are romance scams with a group called the Yahoo Boys. And this is not just a group, it's a widespread thing in Nigeria. David Maimon is here, professor at Georgia State and also the head of fraud insights at identity verification firm SentiLink, who has been studying this and analyzing this. Are Yahoo Boys only in Nigeria, or are they popping up in other countries?
No, we see this type of groups developing in Africa in general. We see them in Ghana as well. So they're not focused on Nigeria only.
Here's a clip real quick. This is like 30 seconds of an actual scam. And what's happening, if you missed the first segment, basically dude's in front of a laptop and filming himself, channeling it through an app, which he can pick whatever the face is. So it's an African guy who looks like a 45-year-old white dude from wherever talking to this woman. But obviously, his voice is his voice. I know you can't see it, but have a listen to this deep fake conversation.
I just wasn't hungry.
Well, you know, I don't want you starving yourself. You know, I don't want that. I want you to eat.
Well, the medicine I'm on, it suppresses my eating.
Oh, I'm sorry about that, sweetheart. I'm so sorry.
I have to like force feed myself. You know?
So they try to play in sympathetic terms to get you comfortable with them before they go in for the financial kill.
Obviously, they're infiltrating, as you mentioned earlier, Facebook, any sort of dating app or website. What can these companies, these websites, the dating apps of the world, what can they do to help fight this off? There's got to be warnings they could put out.
I think folks need to be more vigilant about the type of folks who are using the platform. Folks need to be more aware of potential fraudster using it. Folks need to be more aware of fraudsters and hackers essentially taking over folks' accounts, legitimate users' accounts. I mean, we see a lot of these Yahoo Boys actually taking over legitimate accounts and then using the legitimate accounts in order to hook up with people over Facebook and Tinder and other platforms, of course, in order to build a relationship and then, build a rapport and then lure the victim to send money to those criminals. So I think what needs to be done on the social media company side is they need to be more aware. They need to look for those individuals. There are specific signs that they know they can look for, and so they need to do better job in finding those signs and protecting those accounts.
Barnes, you remember the Tinder swindler on Netflix and how long it took them to find him.
I'm surprised there hasn't been a documentary about these Yahoo Boys yet.
I know.
David, with this being such a seriously scary thing, and these guys have nothing to lose, for you to jump in and start analyzing it, what has that been like for you? Has there been any kind of contact that these people have tried to reach out to you, like as you're investigating?
So I've been doing fraud research for quite a while, and I can tell you that I have been contacted by fraudsters, criminals in the past with various threats to my personal phone. I have to say that most of the threats that I received in the past was that they were more local. In terms of international threats, I haven't really gotten those, but who knows what will happen after this story.
That's scary stuff. These guys wear it on their sleeve. I mean, there's a whole subculture there where these guys are even ranked as to who the best Yahoo Boys are. They're with flashy cars, they're with jewelry and money, and these guys it's obviously working. I mean, you can't assume that somebody is not gullible or, susceptible to, whatever the situation in their life is to give it in. But as you heard in that example, the guy sounds nothing like the image he's trying to portray, and it's amazing that they're still able to dupe people.
Well, I have to tell you that, with the software, the software they're currently using, you can't really change your voice. But there are a couple of actors out there actively seeking ways to clone voices and use those voices in the context of this scam, right? I mean, so that aspect of the fraud is definitely being taken care of as we speak right now, and it's only a matter of time till they will be able to speak fluent English with no accent at all, right, during those live videos. So that aspect I know because I've seen that a couple of weeks ago. Folks are working on it, and they're trying to come up with better voices, clone voices, technology which will allow them to take care of that aspect as well.
There's one called Avatarify Python, which is a Python-based video calling software that is so easy, Leslie. You literally could just be talking, holding it up, and it's channeling your face through whoever you want, whatever image you've put there, and just animating the face to speak, and it looks 100% real. And they just select that in Zoom or whatever they're using as their camera instead of their camera. And that's how they feed that output of this fake face or body or torso speaking right through to the person on the other end. And all these web dating apps and whatever, they're all set up kind of like Zoom. You select what your camera is and you send it in. It is scary stuff.
What's scary is that now it's like in real time, which is what we've been talking about.
Crazy.
The deep fakes, and they do look real, and the technology has gotten better. And what's scary is you wonder, what's next? I mean, what could they be planning next?
There's a lot that they're working on right now. I mean, we know that those videos, those live conversations they're having with victims are also being used to try and open new bank accounts under fictitious names. They will be used to apply for benefits. We know that the government, we know that financial institutions. I mean, you can open accounts online, and some of the ways you will need to verify yourself is either by sending an image of yourself or having a live conversation with an agent. This is, in my opinion, one of the things that we should be worried about. I mean, there are a couple of companies trying to solve this issue, but we are already seeing attacks on these companies' technology, and folks are able to bypass all the security and controls that those companies have. So, this is, I think, is what we should be looking for and should be worried about. And we should be deploying as many resources as possible in order to detect those videos, detect those conversations, and prevent these guys from doing what they're doing.
Scary stuff. Well, thank you for explaining some of it. It is just traumatizing for a lot of people. And $650 million in romance fraud just in the last, little over a year. Pretty scary. David Maimon.
Please beware.
Yes, professor at Georgia State and also head of fraud insights at SentiLink. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much for having me.
Thanks, David.
The Steve Show is coming up next. Tomorrow, join us for Best of the Morning X between 6 and 7. Big double dose of Ask Us Anything. The Queen will also be on tomorrow. About 7:25, have more Chelsea Handler tickets. We will see you then. It's the Morning X. Barnes and Leslie on the original 99X.